And as you're laying down, you're scanning the body or how you've authentically arrived. Seeing the whole back part of your body and all the parts that are connected on the floor. Feeling the places where you feel tension and the places where you feel open. Feeling the joints that feel tight and the joints that feel spacious. Feeling the texture, the temperature differences from left to right, from joint to joint. Is there any tension in your mind if you were to go to the more subtle? Are there any emotions in the background? Let's embrace and welcome how we all think. Coming back to how we really are today, how we authentically are, what the energy is really saying, and not what we want to put forth. So now let's notice the quality of the breath as we have started. Where do you feel your breath is stronger? Higher in your chest? Or do you feel it more lower in your belly? You feel it quite equal, both, without trying to make it equal. How really is it? And then for those of you watching the recording, I've suggested a sandbag. If you don't have a sandbag, something that you can use as a soft weight to place on your belly, or it's actually going to go on your solar plexus. I'm going to come and put your sandbags on you, those of you that are here with me now. So notice how your breathing is before your sandbag. Okay? Pay close attention to where the area of your diaphragm. When we breathe in, anatomically, the diaphragm is like a dome and it presses down. It's actually pulled down and contracts. It's drawn down, creating this expansion in your belly, pressing the belly contents kind of down and out, opening space in your lungs and your chest cavity. And I know that the mind might visualize this happening, but I just want you to see for a moment what yours authentically is doing. What's your starting point truly without trying to make it? What is your authentic starting point already? How smooth and easeful do you feel your diaphragm already starting to do its job? Or do you notice resistance and tension? And this can go really, really subtle. And you're going to notice the way those subtleties are going to be highlighted even more. So I'm going to come and place the sandbag your way on this area, on your upper belly, where the top of the sandbag is just touching the lower ribs, not necessarily weighting down on the ribs, but it's just touching the lower ribs. Once you have your weight on this area, take some time to let it settle and register. Registering in your body, registering in your mind. Those of you watching the recording, I'll just demonstrate that for a moment. How does your diaphragm respond as you breathe in to this weight? And then what about when you breathe out? Does it help you to breathe out to the fullest degree? Everything we're doing here in this complete practice is about creating a bit of a reset. It's a circuit breaker and really bringing us home at deeper level. Continue to observe the breath without trying to change it in any way. The sandbag is doing the magic. Smooth as your stream of your in-breath with this. And what about the stream of your out-breath? Can you notice the pause in between? Does it get a little stronger or easier each breath, each consecutive breath, the longer we do this? What effect can you notice this having on your mind? Now we're going to prepare to take the sandbag off and just place it to the side. And just sense, does your system take a yawn or a sigh? What happens? What does it feel like now to breathe without the weight? And how does that differ from when you did pre-weight breathing? Does your diaphragm know what to do with all the space now? Is it easier? Now the next process is the rocking and rolling over the towel, the rolled up towel. So those of you that are at home, you may like to pause the video and take yourself a hand towel, roll it up quite firmly. This one's quite thick. You may not want it as thick as this. So roll it up. You can make it as firm as you like. And those of you that are here with me, we're going to take our towel, bending the knees now. Take your towel, roll to your side and place it behind your shoulder blades horizontally. Even if it's a little higher or lower to start with, it's okay. It's called spinal flossing. So your knees are bent. And the action that we're going to do is use our feet as press. And they don't actually move on the floor, but we press down with the feet gently without our hips raising. We want to keep the weight of our hips on the floor. And imagine that we're sliding the floor away from our bottom, and then that we're sliding the heels toward the bottom, but they stay in one place. It's just to create this glide. Initially, you'll feel like this is really tight and there's nothing happening. And then if you gently, staying relaxed and down with the body, start to speed that up, you'll find a rocking motion happen. You are inhibited a little because you've got the roll behind your spine. But immediately, you should start to notice your nervous system kicking in and having this response. And this is bringing us into parasympathetic nervous system straight away almost. You may feel a yawn coming on, a deep sigh. It just might be this dropping into your body, pulling back of all the energies. Continue to utilize your breath, that beautiful ability to expand the rib cage, to create a bit more resistance of your back and your body on the roll. Continuing to notice how your nervous system is responding. And then take a pause for a moment, and you might like to hug your chest, and you'll feel that your back spreads, and you'll feel the pressure from your roll strengthen between your shoulder blades as you spread the space between the scapula by hugging yourself around your chest. And then you can roll a little side to side, and you'll start to be able to hone in on where those trigger points are between your shoulder blades. And if you want to kind of walk your body down a little so that the roll rate goes a little higher, start to choose where you want that roll now. Maybe you have tight spots or retention areas there. And once you're there, take a bit of time to just play and explore, rolling, kind of leaning, levering side to side, looking for those trigger points. And then you might like to bring in and introduce that rocking again, that vertical rocking, just like we started with. The arms can stay in the cross position or come down beside you or be anywhere you want them to be. I find when you're in that hugging position, you get that real strong connection of the roll on those flatter muscles of your back, on your rhomboids, between your shoulders, your traps, your latissimus, probably too high for the lats, but mainly the trapezius and even your rectus spinae muscles. And that rhythm, your brain loves the rhythm. Your nervous system responds to rocking and rhythm. Anytime you want to pause to enjoy it, do that. Rock until you don't rock anymore. Pause until you need to feel the rock coming in. Regular check-ins is really important in this practice. Resetting, re-recording. And then if you want to walk the shoulders, walk that roll up, so rock your body down a little further so that the roll gets higher. Uncross your arms, and here you want it quite high on the shoulders here, and then lift your hips and start to utilize that bridge position to rock you into where that roll needs to be. Maybe you rock again here with your hips in that lifted position. Maybe with your hips lifted up, your arms might want to stretch above your head. And then you might want to rock from there, create that press and that rock of the whole body, being hips lifted, arms above your head. Or even roll side to side and fine tune those trigger points. So just take some time in your own exploration. And you can move it anywhere you want to on your roll. Then lower the hips down and begin to walk your shoulders up over the roll. So the roll begins to move down a little lower now. And then you might like to just explore the hips down, a little bit more rolling over the roll, rocking vertically. Keeping the expansion happening in your breath. And then come all the way to have the roll in your small of your lower back. You find you don't feel it as much. So bring the knees into your belly, hug your knees in, and you're going to pulsate the knees towards your chest, and that's going to create the flossing. Gently, gently. And then pause from the flossing. Keep your knees in and start to gently roll your knees to the right a little bit, and you'll feel your roll under your back start to press into your QL muscles, your side bender muscles in your waist. And just hold that slowly. You might find points that you just need to be on and hold. Meet those with your breath. Be gentle and mindful here. And fine-tune the body position according to what's right for you. You might like to do tiny little circles or tiny little micro pulses, feathering movements here. And then come through center and gently go to the left. Explore your QL on the left side. Again, take your time. Be still anywhere you want to be still. There's so much in being still with this too. You do feel the sighs coming on. Breathe out into the side. And let your system make some noise. Let's empower out of our tendency to press our voice in. The vagus nerve loves to be stimulated like that. Cleansing sound. And if you get tenderness and tension in your body, what sound does it want to make? Let's not hold back. Let's explore and become empowered without inhibition. If there's anywhere here that you want to go back to, if the right side calls you more, take time to go there, back again. Stay more on the left. And then come to center, lower the knees, the feet, sorry, lift the hips and take the roll down to just at the top of your sacrum. And when it's there, you might like to just hold the knees in again. And we'll do a little bit of, well, a tiny bit of the pulsing of the knees in the center. You don't need too much here because it's probably not going to feel it much. But I want you to go to the side now. And you're going to get right into your sacroiliac joint. And if you've got tenderness in one of them, you're going to feel it when you let your knees drop one way. I have on my right side, so I feel it. I'm going to where the tenderness is, just holding there in stillness. And then I might just induce tiny little circle one way. Just to explore all around that area. And then I'll go the other way. Maybe tiny micro pulses, micro feathering. And then maybe you want to come, pause there and come to the other side, or if you want to stay longer on the right, do so. Once you're on the left, if you want to induce little micro circles, little tiny ones. And the other way. Or even just micro pulses. And then come back to the center, move it down a little bit more so that this time it's under your sacrum. And your feet can either lift off the floor or stay down. And again, roll to the side and see if you can kind of get into the glutes a little bit now. Some of you may have sciatic stuff going on. Shift your hips if you want to feel it more on one side than the other. And let's explore really working into your piriformis muscle, which is a thin strip of, oh, it's actually quite a thick muscle, but it's small. And deep underneath all your thick glute muscles. And often if it's tight, it will compress your sciatic nerve, the upper part of your sciatic nerve. So let's explore here, massaging and really fine-tuning in there. Don't forget to go to the other side and just explore and play with whether your knees want to be, your feet want to be down on the floor, or whether they want to be up. If you want to take the roll or shift your hips over a little to work around your literal hip joint a little. Just see if you want to sort of feel into your actual hip joint. Change the angle of it, the roll, and make it more hip focused now if you want to, if that feels good. And you could bring in a little bit of rocking, like let your knees drop to one side when you do that and just pulse. Use your feet, use the press of your feet. You'll be practicing that press to rock your body. And then try the other side if you feel like that is a need. You giving yourself a massage. With you knowing all those right spots to reach. Okay. Now just spend the next 2 minutes anywhere that you want to be with the roll on your body. Any part of your spine that you've done so far, what calls you? And if you've done enough on your actual body and spine, you might like to take it underneath your cranium. You might like to do a little bit underneath the cranium. And if the roll's not thick enough, maybe you could use, because there's a possibility it's not thick enough for your cranium, but you could use your hands on top of the roll and put your fingers, cup it underneath your cranium, just or your thumbs, and just press up underneath the occiput into the ridge of the bone and where the soft little suboccipital muscles so that you can massage yourself under there. Find those tender points. Get a balance between the movement and the stillness. Profound and powerful energy points behind this area that impact your whole body, your whole energy system actually. Roll the head side to side slowly, just like you're rocking the body. Fine tune and utilize even the edges of your roll to find those tender spots and work them. And then let's take our roll to the side, let our legs be long, and let's spend just a minute here in Shabasana. Well, we haven't finished the class, but it's a mini Shabasana, just to help feel how this has all landed in your body, in your whole system. Let the changes sink deep through your still moment. And then once again, bend your knees now and come back with the awareness into your diaphragm. Remembering what your quality of movement was there before with your breath, and just notice what that is now. What is the rate of your breath? You feel more embodied in your whole being now, including your breath. Now we're going to kind of go on a journey in the breath inside the body. And I want you to follow where it breathes in through your nose, all the way down through your spine, and follow it down to your sacrum. And then reverse that, like riding a wave, follow it on the way out. And then still in keeping riding the wave of the breath, start to get this internal global awareness as you breathe in. What is the subtle movement that happens down at your sacrum and lower back and really whole pelvis with the in-breath? It's sort of more of a game of awareness here now. The subtle oscillation. What about on the out-breath? What happens? Where does your sacrum return to? What do you notice subtly with the pelvic floor muscles and the deep inner lower core when you breathe out? What do you notice at the sacrum, your hara, and your lower back as you breathe in? What do you notice when you breathe out? When you notice, when you're aware of it, then I want you to exaggerate it. I'd like you to use a little bit of effort, tiny bit, and start to follow that movement. Make it kind of bigger, actually induce that very same movement. Ride that wave in an active way. So when you breathe in, what you're going to find, if you were to use your front of your pelvis and pubic bone as landmarks, you'll find they roll forward. Your front of your iliums roll forward and your tailbone presses down. Your pubic bone faces down and your lower back lifts. Your pelvis rolls you into this arch of your lower back. When you breathe out, your tailbone will scoop under. Your front of your hip bones will roll back. The pubic bone rolls back and tilts up. Lower back will flatten. This is called flatten. Everything draws back to the core. Your inhale sees your pelvis roll forward, tailbone press down, pubic bone roll down, whole pelvic bowl rolls forward, and your lower back will lift. You'll feel a shortening in your back. And then the exhale rolls pelvis back, scoop tailbone under, flattens the back. Everything draws into the core. When the wave of breath comes in again, you'll roll it forward. The lower back will lift. This arch, like a happy cat laying on your back. And exhale, see that reverse. Now, in your own time, continue to explore arch and flat. Begin to notice how this movement affects your whole spine. So what is the whole movement through your whole body? When we're looking in terms of the pandiculation, the shortening, when you roll your pelvis into the arch and you feel a lower back shortening, can you also press the arms back into the floor and feel your shoulder blades squeezing under you so the whole back body shortens, whole front body opens. As you breathe out, reverse is true. Scoop tailbone under, lower back flattens, front body shortens, your shoulders roll forward. So it's almost like your chest and your pubic bone are being drawn together at the front of your body as you breathe out. And then they come apart as you breathe in. And the tops of your shoulders and your tailbone, almost like they're being drawn toward one another as you breathe in. Exhale. Scoop tailbone under, roll shoulders forward. Upper chest or upper sternum, pubic bone being drawn toward one another. Everything shortening in front body. Inhale, everything opens like the sea anemone, an opening. Tentacles open, your whole body opens, back body shorten. Exhale, folding in on itself, shortening. Let your arms come along for that visual as well. On the inhale, open through the front body, open your palms, back body shorten, squeeze back body. Exhale, roll shoulders forward, palms roll down, scoop tailbone under, front body shorten. Inhale opens like being in the ocean. The wave is flowy, it's smooth, it's connected. Let the breath go to the nth degree and enjoy a pause at the end of it. Continue to explore this in your own time now. Whole body breathing. It's like your whole body is breathing underwater. This takes me back and makes me think of single cell in the ocean. Whole cell breathing. Cellular breathing. Every cell of you, your body breathes. Now, if we can look at this particular pattern that we're doing now, the arch and the flatten, as a clock. When we roll into the arch, our pubic bone points down to 6 o'clock. When we roll back into the flatten, our pubic bone points up to 12 o'clock. We're going to pause now between 6 and 12, and we'll work with 9 and 3. Just notice how that arch and flatten has landed in your body for a moment. Take a pause. And now to feel 9 o'clock, press your right foot down and feel your right hip just lift a little. It's only a small one. 9 o'clock on the right hand side, the hip will kind of raise as you press the right foot down and then let it lower. And now press your left foot down, feel the left hip tuck under a little bit and lift. 3 o'clock. And lower. Come back to 9 o'clock, press right foot down, feel right hip tuck under, and notice whether the movement's the same on this side in your deep hips and then lower, or deep sacroiliac area, pelvis. And now 3, press left foot down, feel left hip scoop under. Is there a locking on that left sacroiliac area? And then lower. Can you pendulate between the two now? Take your time. Let the range, let the motion go through the full range before you change it. Let it go right all the way up, pause. Then let it down, smoothly it comes back in. Passes through midline, then you press the left foot down to 3 o'clock. Continue again, pendulate in this bow shape from side to side. If you have a side that is more locked, I want you to go to that place of lockness or restriction and just do a micro pulse in that area. That's called feathering. Micro feather right in that place of tension, that restriction. And then continue to pendulate back between the two and notice if there's been a change. And you might find a new place of resistance. Feel free to do a little micro feather there. We're changing neuromuscular pathways here. We're resetting proprioceptive places. Resynchronizing, muscle firing. Continue on with your pendulation between side and side. And then we're going to pause. Notice what you feel in your sacrum in particular here. Maybe a bit of a vibration now that you've cleared pathways. I do. I definitely feel like I've opened something. And we're going to circle now around the clock, combining these 4 points. So remembering your arch and flatten, let's inhale, roll into the arch. Pubic bone points down. You'll feel your lower back lift. 6 o'clock. Release 6 and press the right foot down and flow to 9 o'clock. Release 9, scoop tailbone under, 12 o'clock. Flatten. Release that, press left foot down, 3 o'clock. Let's flow again, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Can you find a circular action now without breaking it down too much? Find your little circular action in this direction, your own flow. Making sure you don't have any secret tension happening in your neck or your jaw. What's happening all the way up your spine with this? Can you actually free the whole spine to kind of come along in this playful way? I'm just feeling the need to put my hands behind my head, and then it's almost like the top of my spine wants to kind of come with me in this dance. So get the side bending happening as well. You'll find that organic play in your own body. And then pause. Feel the effects of this. The awakening now maybe of energy all the way up your spine. And we'll go the other way, starting with 6 o'clock, the arch, and now go to 3 o'clock, and now 12, and then 9. And this is the direction you'll explore now in your own flow. Letting the whole spine follow you. Letting that kind of be playful in your whole body. Just a couple more here. Beautiful. Okay, let's pause for a second and we'll integrate that. So arms out beside you and take your feet wide-ish, knees wide too. And we're just going to gently take knee drops. So let your knees drop to the left, both knees actually. One might stay slightly up because I've got your windshield wiper. Now, with your knees to the left and with a bit of space, I want you to press the top foot into the floor and just do little pulses here with that hip. So kind of almost like you're about to press yourself to roll onto your side. It's just a little tiny micro pulse. We're only going to do this for a bit and then we'll stop and go to the other side. Let the knees drop the other way, bring in that little kind of push and pulse. Thinking mobilization, integration now. And let's switch from side to side with a couple of pulses and turn your head the opposite way. Kind of let it roll, your whole body feel the pulse, and then when you go the other way, turn your head the opposite way. Stay in one place longer if it feels good. And then emit the pulses and just switch from side to side. Head turns the opposite direction to your knees. Now keep your knees one way and your head the opposite. And just go to the end range very gently with your head. Just not overdoing it, but just go to that end range, wherever that is for you, and just a micro pulse at that end range of your head. Let's stay still. Fine-tune that vector according to what you feel. And then take a moment to pause. Slowly return those knees back into center. Take the knees the other way, head the opposite. Find the edge, keep the knees still now. Find the edge where your resistance is, and then just meet it, gently, gently pulse. And then return back everything to center. Extend the legs long, let the arms come down beside you. Let's take a moment now. We're going to take a minute to pause and just scan and check in and let everything we've done so far today's session to be as it is. Notice what you notice. You're probably feeling quite a good buzz through your energy system right now. Let that become a part of you in this stillness. Notice your breathing. Dive at the freedom in your diaphragm. And our next flow we're going to do is rainbow. So I'm going to ask you please to come to lay on your side, any side that you can see me clearly. I'm going to bend the knees at your hip height and have your lower arm out in front of you and your top palm on top, palm on palm. It's called palm slider. And it's out chest height. So just be mindful here if there's anything you need to be concerned about. Just gently modify. This should be slow and gentle. And we're going to start this gentle palm slide of the top hand, keeping connected on the bottom. So it's okay to lay with your whole body turned around so you can face me. Yeah. So however you're here, we're going to start, if you can, palm on palm or hand. And just begin by spiraling forward a little. Let your whole body spiral. Then pause. And then slowly start to trace the hand a little way up the arm. We're really going to be gently working into a twist, but take our time. It's progressive. Continue to slide back, spiral forward. And then let your hand trace a little more up your arm. And again, spiral forward and feel the pandiculation in the front of your body. And then feel the opening in the front and the squeezing behind your shoulder blade of your top arm. Squeeze the shoulder blade towards your spine. Pause. The pause is important. And then spiral back down. And continue to do this, feeling in each time you're coming a little bit more into a twist, but it's a gradual thing.
When you come to the point of twist, you'll unfurl your arm like a fern, unfolding the fingers are the last. And then when you come back, your fingers are the first to curl in, your wrist, flex, you let your flexors fold you in, come back to the connection on your chest, and then your palms slide again. Working with your breath, inhale as you open up. Making it the movement slow and smooth. Tune into what's happening in your spine, the vertebrae, and how they're moving relative to one another. When you come to this full open position, you might like to stay there for a moment and do a little micro pulse, if that feels appropriate, without overdoing anything. Just feel into behind the shoulder blade in your spine. And then come back without overdoing it, gentle, gentle. You might like to explore that same action again, or find a place along the journey that's not smooth, that needs those little micro pulses. Maybe you want to pulse without extending the arm. Just keep it slightly connected to the chest and just pandiculate and feather your spine only, not even using your arm. And continue on your whole journey. If there's a place you want to hold and just be in stillness and use your breath. Feel how that helps your surrender. It's nice to explore doing this twist with a bent arm as well, keeping that top arm connected on that shoulder. It sort of lets you isolate more your upper shoulder rather than the lower arm. You'll feel that elbow drop closer to the ground with every breath. And then return back to the starting point again, back to your palm on palm. And the next part of this movement, we're going to straighten the top leg. And the arm and the leg will be going in opposite directions. Let's do the leg. Well, really, it's the body moving to accommodate for the limb. The twist and spiral happens in opposite directions in your spine and your body. So the top hand will draw a rainbow, and your top shoulder will begin to open up to where it's been going, but the leg will come in front of your body, and it will draw a rainbow in front of your body. Opposite direction. Then you reverse it. Draw the rainbow with the leg behind your body and retrace your arm back to the starting point while the leg goes behind you. It's up to you if you want to keep it up or let it draw on the floor. And then reverse it. Bring the leg forward as you spiral open with your body, and your arm draws behind you. And reverse that. Spiral the body forward as the leg comes back, and little pulses as the leg's behind you. Hold that pulse, work into the hip flexor with the leg behind you. Little pulses here. Then come forward again. And maybe little pulses with the leg in front of you. If the arm doesn't want to do that, keep your elbow bent and just use it as a bent lever. Just rotate your shoulder, more your trunk and your torso. As you open the shoulder up, let your leg come forward. As you roll the shoulder forward, let your leg go back. Just one more like this. We don't want to overdo this one. If you feel like you need longer, that's fine, but it's subtle. However, it's really quite deep. Let's take a moment here now just to pause on our side. Be in your comfortable position. Notice what you notice. How simple but deep can be intense and beautiful. What do you notice in your pelvis and lower belly? In your spine and sacroiliacs? And your energy flows through your body, through your meridian system. Soles of your feet, palms of your hands. Your breath. What's your breathing like in this position? This has been working on the diaphragm too. Can you notice that this is really, really relaxing? Nourishing and restoring. We're going to come to the other side and we're going to do that in a playful way. So, and we'll do it a few rounds. We're going to open the top arm like a book and then open the top knee like a book and gently let it roll you. Let the weight of that top leg draw the pelvis over. And let it roll you to the other side. And then come back in that same way. So the top arm opens like a book, top leg opens like a book, and let them begin to roll you over until you find yourself on the other side. Continue to play like that for a bit, creating that playful rolling action. Wavering from one side to the other. Feel the freedom in your hips. Really let those knees explore the width between them, so your hips. And you might like to just make it more intuitive now. Kind of let yourself become that little octopus. Make it more spontaneous, more you. Whatever pathway your system, your body wants you to take. And next time you land on the other side, the side you haven't done yet, stay there and we'll enter straight into your palm slider. Palm on palm and just gentle tracing up off the arm and then down again and spiral your body. Taking your time with that. okay with being still or finding little micro pulses where you need them. And then next time you come back to your palm on palm, stay there for a moment. Just funnily enough, you're all there. And we're going to straighten the top leg. Come into doing the opposite arm and leg in opposite directions. So slide your leg forward, feel the hip rotate, yep, and rotate your upper body open, beautiful. As the leg slides forward, the arm comes back. And then reverse that. As the arm comes forward, the leg goes back. You've got this torsion in your body in opposite directions. You feel the spiral of your upper body forward, even to the point of squishing your nose again, and the leg comes back. Maybe pulse that leg behind you. And then when the leg comes in front, the shoulder opens back. Maybe if you feel the need to, take little pulses in the front or little circles. Or even bend the top arm and do little pulses of your shoulder. Just be careful not to overbounce. If your arm doesn't want to extend, just use a bent elbow and use it more, rotate through your spine. Pulse the leg behind you as you roll the shoulder forward. And then when you've done enough, take that pause. Come to lay on your back. And this is the point in time where we're going to spend the next 10 minutes in our own unfolding, our own unwinding process. So you may like to start from a paused position. Maybe your knees are bent and maybe they're straight. See what your body needs. And rather than moving from the outside in, you're feeling from the inside out, and you're waiting for that desire, that initiation of movement to come through you and move you. Connect with the presence in the background, the presence that you are, pure awareness. see this as a witness, be from a witness place and feel. Maybe you'll feel like this gentle tug or this pulling of you in toward tension, and then your unspiral journey will unfold from there. Wait for the right wave to come in, and you don't have to move with every wave or every inclination. This is a deeper process now. Check in and ask your soma, show me, and I'll follow you. Where do you want to unwind? What tension patterns are ready to unwind right now? And I'll follow. And this doesn't come from the mind at all. This will be your body leading you. You watch, you observe, you feel, and you are moved. And there can be tiny micro things happening on the inside that hardly even move a finger, but you feel it unwinding on the inside and you're following from the inside. Holding the safe space and container for if emotions arise, and tensions that have been there even from trauma are released from yourselves. Allow this to flow. You are safe. You have space and permission to fully feel. Maybe it draws you into a still point. It's different to checking out. It's a still point, but you're still fully present with it. You just know everything orientates around this one point that just says, stay right here. But you're present with it. It's different to checking out or disassociating from something. If you need to come back, if you feel overwhelmed, bring your hand and place it on a place of your body where you're safe. Orientate through opening your eyes if you need to. Go to a safe place in your mind, whatever you need to do, and then come back into the practice when you're ready. You are in control.
So we're just in the process of starting to bring ourselves into Shabasana position. So honouring whatever practice is happening inside you at the moment. Whatever process is going on. How you will come out towards Shabasana. Setting yourself up with whatever you need. Maybe you need a pillow, I can bring you one. Maybe you wish to have a blanket. And now you get to enjoy stillness. Maybe you want bolster under your knees. Whatever you need. Letting your body surrender deeply into the floor. Feel the heels get heavy. Supported. Feel the knees spacious and hips are open. Let's letting go and the pelvis and the back. Breathe in the flow of energy through your spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Arms are open. Tension is rolling away from the jaw. Take a moment to notice now how you've landed as opposed to when you started. What do you notice that's different? Feel that embodied presence in your breath. Sense of connection. you experiencing the subtle energies through you right now? Your prana. And you notice the freedom of flows through your meridian system of this prana or chi. Our fascia is this beautiful conductor for this electrical energy that flows through you, and the deeper, more subtle energies that are subtly more powerful. To rest in the beautiful, unique qualities of your breath. And how are you experiencing yourself as just pure awareness right now? Or you are pure awareness experiencing yourself as laying here in Shabasana. Experiencing yourself breathing. Experiencing a sensation of physical body. Experiencing subtle energies flowing through you. Enjoy just a moment now, quiet, to feel this light radiating very brightly inside you, inside every cell, enlivened. Your chi, prana healing the organs, revitalizing you, replenishing your inner energy stores, opening lines of communication between systems. And now bring awareness back to experience your body, yourself as the body laying on the floor. Begin to tune into the sensation of movement or bring movement into yourself, hands and feet. Preparing to make the transition to roll to your side. Again, keeping in your mind how you are now from when we first started today's session. rolling yourself off to the side, and please give yourself a hug on the side. And honor any insights that came for you through your practice. Maybe content might have been released and you're able now to free that space up, letting go. Maybe you need to write or draw or move, whatever you need to do when you go home. Sit and reflect, whatever that is for you for integration. And please press your way and bring it all the way to center. Taking your time, because you will feel really grounded, probably really relaxed. It's been a long session. Rub your hands together. I'm just going to rub it on your face, covering the eyes. As you cover the eyes and massage the eyes, keep them open behind your hands. And then rub the skin on the head, temples, release, neck. Beautiful. Bring hands to the heart, slightly bowing to your heart. Namaste.